A replacement surgery can be expected to last for 20 or more years, according to the American College of Rheumatology. But in an exclusive investigation, CBS News and KFF Health News found one particular hip system has broken in hundreds of people, leaving them with more painful surgeries. Here's consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner.
56-year-old Brad Little works as a middle school PE teacher, teaching the healthy habits he's subscribed to throughout his life.
I wanted to be an example of physical fitness, so I have always done a good job of staying active.
But in his mid-30s, he says, he developed arthritis in his right hip. And when he saw the doctor,
he told me right away, if it's hurting you too bad, it's going to be a time you're going to have to get a hip replacement.
Hip replacement surgery has been successfully performed for decades and involves removing deteriorating hip bones and implanting metal and plastic parts, typically a ball and cup, which connect to a stem that fits inside the thigh bone. But Little says his surgeon told him he'd be using a more recently developed type of artificial hip called the profemur, made of titanium.
And said that this was something that was for people just like myself who are young, athletic.
What made the profemur different? It added a detachable neck section between the ball and stem, made in different sizes to try to achieve a custom fit. And manufacturer Wright Medical marketed the product for active people. They even hired tennis player Jimmy Connors as a spokesperson for their hip system. He was quoted on this company website saying his new hip has given me back my quality of life. It's allowed me to do anything I did before. That helped reassure Little. In 2007, he had the surgery on his right hip.
The way I felt was just like if I was 20 years old again. I mean, it was wonderful.
He had the same surgery on his left hip a couple years later, and everything seemed fine, he says, until September 2017, as he walked down this school hallway.
Turned a corner to head to the locker room, and I felt this click. The next thing I knew, I'm on the floor laying down on the ground.
At the hospital, x-rays showed the profemur titanium neck in his right hip had broken, snapped in two.
When they showed you the x-ray, what did you think?
Well, I thought, how could this be?
And fixing it meant splitting his leg bone down the middle to get the metal stem out of the bone.
And there's no way around the fact that there's a failed or broken implant in that patient's thigh. We have to remove it.
Dr. Lee Rubin is an orthopedic surgeon and prosthetic hip expert at Yale University.
You're basically talking about cutting somebody's leg bone in half.
We have to open the bone, yes.
Little's wife, Kristen, cared for him during his 6-month-long recovery.
It's really devastating to watch the person you love more than anything in your life go through all of that.
Our CBS News and KFF Health News investigation found those fractures have happened to hundreds of people. Reports submitted to the FDA describe patients' hips breaking during routine activities, hiking, golfing, mowing the lawn, even simply leaning over to pick up a key. And in a court hearing in 2018, a Wright Medical attorney admitted the company was aware of more than 760 fractures of profemur necks. But she defended the product, telling the court a device fracture does not mean it is defective. Devices fracture all the time. But that's not what the company told doctors. In prior promotional materials, Wright Medical guaranteed the profemur's structural reliability. Dr. Rubin showed us why, in many cases, that promise and the product didn't hold up.
There's more stress on what we call the lateral side, the outside of the neck. And that is where the fatigue fractures or the cracks would begin, to the point where it snapped in half and broke. It snaps just like that.
That's as long as it takes.
1 second.
And patients like New Hampshire's Mark Feld, a former runner who had both his profemur implants break, are still angry.
No concern for the ultimate patient. It's just, let's make these parts, let's get them into people's bodies. We've got the best product, blah, blah, blah. They didn't have the best product, and they didn't put the best product in my body.
In 2020, 15 years after that product hit the market, the company that bought the profemur brand from Wright Medical voluntarily recalled some of those titanium necks. But that didn't help patients still living with the devices, like Brad Little. In 2021, he was coaching students on this tennis court when his left hip implant also broke, meaning another 6-month recovery.
Yeah, I don't think I can ever forgive them, honestly, for what they've put us through as a couple. You know, shame on them.
Well, both Brad Little and Mark Feld sued the company. Their cases were settled out of court, and Wright Medical denied liability in those and other lawsuits we reviewed. Now, the company was bought by Stryker Corporation in 2020. Its spokesperson declined to comment. In 2013, Wright Medical had sold the Profemer brand to a Chinese company, Microport. It still advertises the Profemer implants on its website, but says they're no longer marketed in the United States. Microport did not respond to multiple requests for comment, John.
Wow, what a report. Okay, so you mentioned Jimmy Connors.
Yeah.
What's he have to say about all this?
So we actually spoke to him by phone, and he told us that Wright Medical had never told him about the fractures, that he wished that they had, because if they had, he might have chosen a different product. He did not have a fracture, but he did have his hip revised in 2012 because of some complications that he had.
Revised, but does that mean
he had some repair done to it, but it was not a fracture like we just showed you.
Okay, and so are these fractures still happening?
They are. In fact, this year in 2023, the FDA has reports of about a dozen fractures of, there's actually 2 metals. We're going to tell you about the second metal tomorrow, an updated metal they use. But basically, there are still fractures going on being reported. And if you have one of these, it is possible that this can happen to you at whatever moment, and there's no warning, there's no way to know. And a lot of people don't realize what kind of part they have.
Sure.
You know, do you ask, why are you installing the Wright Medical Profemer titanium? You know, people don't know this stuff. So that's another thing.
Is that guidance? Is there any guidance about what, if you've gotten a hip replacement and you're worried about this, what do you do?
I asked Dr. Rubin about that because it is really confusing for people, and people are concerned. We've gotten responses from some people even today, an email saying, oh my gosh, I'm about to get a hip replacement, or I have one, what do I do? So the first thing is, he says you need to get your records. Oftentimes the surgeries are done at hospitals, so the surgeon may not have the records of your device. It may be located at the hospital. He says it's better for patients to go get those records. It's faster, it's cleaner. Go get your records, and then you can consult either with your surgeon or consult with another surgeon and say, what do I do? And they may take an x-ray, and they may try to see if there's anything they can see, but otherwise it may be just sort of 80%, he said, waiting and watching.
All right, we're going to have to, you already teased tomorrow, so we're going to have to let that be the tease.
Right, tomorrow more coming, and what the company knew and when they did or didn't take any action.
All right, in a word, thanks so much.
You.